Hi Sagittarius, welcome to your week ahead taroscope with me, Raphael from Reydiant Reality. It's an absolute pleasure to have you. Thank you so much for being here. Thank you so much for joining me. Quick note, these readings are for your sun, moon and ascendant sign, but check them all out so that you get a clearer picture of how these readings work for and speak to you. With that said, remember they are general readings. Not everything's going to resonate with everybody. That is just fine. You should always use your own discernment. Before we start, as always, I would like to bless my decks of cards with all forms of love, light, peace, prosperity and abundance, and I pray that the messages that come through are ultimately clear and concise and they help you on your path to your highest vibrational good. So I'm going to give these a good shuffle. All right, so your jumping card is the star card. We love. All right, so in all of these different areas this week, you are likely to be getting a little glimpse or a little bit of a taste into just how things are likely to shape up for you if you continue putting in the kind of work that you are at the moment. Now, with the star card, this is a card of optimism. It's a card of joy. It's also a card of hope, right? So what this tells me is maybe last week was not the easiest of weeks. And what this also speaks to is the improvement of the energy that you're going to be experiencing. I love the star card. It is hopeful. It is optimistic. And it's also one of trust. This is when the star card shows up, it means that you've found your trust both in yourself and your own sea legs to navigate the stormy waters of life. Don't ask. Sometimes I wish I could pull it back before it escapes my mouth, but unfortunately, this is what we have, right? And then in other ways, it's like you found a trust in the universe because you've been through something that tested you, but you came out the best. You came out the best way and the better for it. So in all of these different sectors of life, you got things to be smiling about, things to be happy about. Now, before we get into your cards, I just want to say, if you haven't yet and you are interested, enrollment for my tarot course is open until the 31st of January. There are only 20 spaces, and I keep these groups deliberately small. I could fill them way beyond this, but I keep it deliberately small so that I can give you personal one-on-one time so that you can get really the best out of the course and out of me. Now, you're going to get 12 weekly sessions, you get 3 Q&As, you've got bonus videos, you've got PDFs pouring out your bloody ears, you've got live client demo, live client practice, and you practice on each other in the class so that you can really hone your skills, right? So I love teaching this course. It's one of my favorite things to do. So if you want to get on that, you can get that on the link in the description box below. It would be lovely to have you. Now, and there's also, I think there's 1 or 2 spaces left on the clearing cohort, but don't hold me to that. Now, for your actions and options, you have the Queen of Swords. So before we get into her, it is worth mentioning that an Aquarius woman is very likely to feature for you in this week in some way, shape or form. Queen of Swords, air sign woman, Aquarius, Gemini, Libra, coupled with the star card, Aquarius energy. This is an Aquarian woman, right? So in terms of the actions that you're taking, the path that you're taking or you're trying to navigate, an Aquarius woman might be a big part of this week. Now, in terms of the actions that you are taking, there's something here that you are willing to fight for, and that you are willing to stand your ground and go as far as you need to or are required to in order to see the result that you desire or require. What I love about this is because the Queen of Swords can be about where we really go to war, right? But it can just as easily be where we want to see fairness or justice, right? It doesn't matter who it's against or who it's with or, whatever it's going to cost or whatever the case might be. I just want justice. Now, I like this because it means that you're digging in a way. Now, in terms of the options that are available to you, this might be an option to commit to something at a much deeper level that has a direct impact on your future. I gotta be honest, it's not so much like this opportunity is only good for now. It's more a case of you need to consider that this specific chance may not come around again until a long time from now, right? So it's kind of if you want the results relatively soon, now you'll need to jump in. Otherwise, you will need to wait in excess of, I would say like at least within 3 to 5 years. This is one of those kind of long-term opportunities. All right, when it comes to your communications and conversations, you've got the Four of Cups. Very interesting, especially with the message that just came up there. The Four of Cups, especially in this deck, it always it represents that the thing that you need or desire is already on its way. It's shaping up for you, but you can't see all of the pieces of the puzzle just yet. Now, because you've got this with the Queen of Swords, you might be ready, willing and able and even poised to have a battle of some sort that you don't actually need to have. This is one of those moments where it's like if you just exercise a little bit of patience, around let's say 2 to 4 weeks patience, you may actually find that whatever you are willing to fight for shows up for you anyway. All right, so I would just take a breath, give it a moment. Now, when it comes to those of you that are studying or in some form of academia, the message here is not every battle is worth fighting, and sometimes the underdog needs to, just like the butterfly, the butterfly needs the struggle of coming out of the chrysalis for its wings to actually function, otherwise it dies. You might want to fight for somebody on their behalf at this moment. Maybe it's a friend, maybe it's a colleague, maybe it's somebody that you care about. And by stepping in to fight for them or to fight that battle for them, you're actually not doing them any favors. In fact, you're going to hinder them because you're going to rob them of the chance to demonstrate their own strength, right? We already know you've got a bunch of strength, but you might be stopping that person from finding their ability to find their way through their own crap. Now, for those of you that are employed by somebody else, this Four of Cups, I almost feel like this is going to be one of those moments where, like, you say, well, I'm not valued here, and you kick up all this fuss, and then, like, literally about a day later, you get this thing, and the boss or, your colleagues will say to you, we had this planned for you, it was already coming, but it was delayed, or, we just wanted to do this because, whatever, and so it's like, you've kicked off. We've all been there, right? We've all been there in some regard. I feel so unappreciated. It's like, oh, well, actually, I bought this for you. It was just delayed, so I'm really sorry. You're like, oh, ground, open up and swallow me whole. Exercise some patience this week is what I'm trying to tell you. For those of you that are business owners, entrepreneurs, solopreneurs, people that work for themselves, this is actually a moment for you to check in and refine what you already have on your business plate as opposed to adding more. This is not necessarily a week where adding more is going to do it. This is about really figuring out what you have right now and where that is going to take you. Find the gratitude in amongst all of this as well, and you'll be going in the right direction. For those of you that are retired and no longer working, honestly, I kind of feel like a lot of you are just trying to decide what you want to do with your time at this moment. Like, it's just like a real moment of, okay, I'm here now. What do I do with it? All right. When it comes to your love and relations, you've got the Queen of Wands. Ooh, excuse me. So the Queen of Wands, usually a fire sign woman, Aries, Leo, Sagittarius. Now, for those of you that are partnered, married or in long-term commitments, there might have to be a tough conversation about boundaries this week. This could be, maybe you say to your partner, I'm always bending over backwards to put my stuff on hold so that we can do this, this and this for you. Or maybe you have to say, I've been carrying everything at home for the last, 6 months. I need you to help out more around the home. Or you know what, we've got 3 kids and I feel like I've got 4, right? Like whatever the case might be, you might have to set a boundary this week. And I got to be honest, with the Four of Cups and the Queen of Swords, whatever you do say or whatever is said to you, it might feel offensive. It's not meant that way, and it's not meant to upset the apple cart. What it is meant to do is address the elephant in the room in the relationship. All right. Now, one thing that I will say, you've got 2 queens here. 2 queens usually represent sincere friends, but I do wonder if this is a friend's input at this moment in time that just as much as they care and as much as they're trying to help, it's just like it's not helpful at this time. And so maybe that's the relationship that you have to kind of set a boundary around and say, look, you know, I know you really care and I love you for it and I'm really very grateful, but I need you to back off a little bit. When it comes to those of you that are single and looking, it is very likely amongst your friendship group or peers that you are either meeting or connecting with someone, or a friend says to you, did you know that so-and-so is into you? So love it. Go for it. Now, before we get into your money and materials, if you would like to book a reading with me, a tarot, astrology or numerology reading, you can do that on the link in the description box below. For your money and materials, you've got the Ace of Wands. I love this, right? So if you had a magic wand, what would you do to enhance your financial future? What would you do right now? Not in terms of just give yourself more money. What step would you make if you knew you absolutely couldn't fail and that you would just create or you would go after right now? That's what you're being encouraged to do this week, because it has a very good ripple for the future. When it comes to your creative ideas or endeavors, they really do have the potential to earn you good and decent money. So I love this. In the combination that comes up as well, your finances and your resources have the chance to flourish through the people that you know this week. You're not utilizing your network as well as you could be. All right. When it comes to your physical health and vitality, one of my favorite cards for physical health and vitality, because this is energy, it's passion, it's vibrancy. You've got everything that you need and you are healthy while doing it. And then finally, when it comes to the home and environment, this it's really nice. I do have to say that this is possibly a conception energy, but it could just as easily be that a lot of you are now starting to think about future-proofing your home, which means you could be looking at the space that you live in and saying, right, we've got, you know, we want to start a family, we're going to need a bigger house. Maybe we've already got a family and we've now suddenly realized that we've got another one on the way, so we need to upsize. Maybe, you know, the kids have all flown the nest and actually you don't really feel like this is home anymore, so you need to downsize. Something about the home starts to shift this week because there's a big idea of, okay, in, you know, for the future. So I'll give you an example. When about 15 years ago, me and my sister begged my grandparents to get a bungalow, something with less stairs, because they live in a townhouse. There's 2 flights of stairs and we begged them. They just would not have it. This is my home. I'm happy here. I paid for it. I'm not fucking going anywhere. Right. So, and now, you know, with the situation that we have, it's, you know, we all wish they had listened to us. So this could, for a lot of you, I think this is about future-proofing your life at home. With that said, I wish you an abundance of all of that good stuff. Have a fantastic week. Let me know in the comments how it shapes up. Take care, and I'll see you soon.